Cornerstone. Welcome to Cornerstone Connection, where this week we're going to be talking about how to change your oil and our core value of intentional discipleship. But before we get into those things, a couple of reminders and updates. First, remember about the church business meeting and potluck on Sunday, July 10th. We're going to do a potluck lunch before this business meeting because it's not just about business, it's about being able to celebrate together as a family the things that God has been doing in our ministry this year. And food is good for that. So bring some of your favorite dishes, bring some extra so we've got more than enough for everybody. Also at that business meeting, we're going to be talking about our budget for the upcoming year. You can get that online, so check your newsletter for that. We're also going to be discussing, and the elders are asking the congregation to approve a motion that commits us to seeking our own permanent physical location. Now, we're doing this not because it's going to be more comfortable or more convenient, though it will be more convenient in some ways, but because we recognize that having a space we can call our own and where the community can find us week in and week out is going to help us advance our mission of guiding people into a dynamic relationship with Jesus. So really important, please take a look at the motion that we're going to be discussing and the elders are asking you to approve. And if you have any feedback, questions, comments, good things, bad things, please email the elders at elders@ccblaine.org. All right, let's talk some about intentional discipleship. As you know, we've been talking about our core values. They are that we are Christ-centered. We've got a core value of prayer, a core value of intentional discipleship, a core value of intentional outreach, and a core value of service. Those are things that are important to us as Cornerstone. And this week, as we talk about intentional discipleship, I thought about changing the oil. I thought about changing the oil because when I first learned how to change oil, it wasn't from watching YouTube or reading a book. I talked to my father-in-law and I said, "Hey, Henry, I don't know how to change the oil, and I'd kind of like to know how to change the oil so I can do it myself. Could you teach me?" And he walked me through the steps. It was him teaching me how to do something. And that's what discipleship is about. Discipleship isn't just a church buzzword. It's something that Scripture talks a lot about. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, we read about the idea that the disciples were first called Christians at Antioch. So people that are following Jesus were called Christians, were called disciples long before they were called Christians. And Jesus talks a lot about disciples and discipleship, and he gives us a great summary of what discipleship is in Luke 6:40, when Jesus says, "The student is not above his teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher." And that tells us two things about discipleship. It tells us that discipleship is about learning what Jesus knows, and it's about living like Jesus lives. In that verse, we see students and teachers. A student learns from a teacher. A teacher imparts knowledge to a student. It might be facts, it might be skills, it might be techniques. But just like my father-in-law taught me about how to change oil, a teacher teaches a student things. Being a disciple means that we learn from Jesus. He has truth, and we want to learn it. But it goes beyond learning things, whether facts or skills. It goes beyond being like somebody. And we, as disciples of Jesus, we want to live like he lived. We want to become like Jesus in his character and in his holiness. We see this a lot in kids and parents. You ever see a little son who's sitting next to his dad, and he's trying to sit exactly like his dad is, and he looks over and he says, "Okay, Dad's got his hand here, I'm going to put my hand here, and Dad's got his other hand up here, and I'm going to put," and he's trying to do what his dad does. Or maybe we see this in people who are imitating celebrities or people that they look at as heroes. They watch the other person and they try to do exactly what that person does. That's what discipleship is, except we're looking at Jesus and we're saying, "Okay, Jesus, what did he do in his situation? What did he do when he was afraid? What did he do when he was worried? What did he do when he was tired?" I want to do that too. Discipleship isn't just learning what Jesus knows, it's living what Jesus lives. Jesus valued discipleship, and so do we as Cornerstone. So I got two questions for you, Cornerstone. First, who do you have around you that is helping you learn what Jesus taught and live like Jesus lived? Who is discipling you? Who's helping you be more like Jesus? And the second question is this: who are you discipling? Who are you teaching what Jesus taught to? Who are you helping them to live like Jesus lived? Discipleship doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't happen primarily by reading a book. It happens life on life. It happens in relationship. Cornerstone, one of our core values is intentional discipleship, and I want to encourage each of us as individuals to be intentional with the way that we are learning what Jesus taught and living like he lived, and also the way that we are teaching others to do the same. Thanks much, Cornerstone. We'll see you this Sunday.